It's been 4 weeks since the Orange battled back to beat Boston College in the final seconds. A dramatic dome finale earning a third bowl berth for the program in 4 years. And although it's not their first rodeo, it is the Orange first postseason trip to Texas in more than 50 years since the days of the great Ernie Davis. The Texas Bowl in Houston, where Jerome Smith and the Orange are matching up with Minnesota tonight. About 2:15 Central Time, the SU football team arrived at Reliant Stadium in Houston, Texas. Kickoff now just over 30 minutes away as the Orange and Golden Gophers meet for the third time in 5 seasons in the 8th annual Texas Bowl. And hello again, everybody, and happy holidays. Hope you saved room for some football. Mark Larson, Dale Drypolcher, and Robert Drummond, former SU running back, here on the Orange and Texas Bowl pregame show. And we are getting set for the Golden Gophers down in Houston. And you talk about a bowl week, Robert. You've been through 3 of these yourself. Always a lot of distractions involved. But what about one over Christmas week in Houston where they haven't been in a long time?
Well, it's not really a distraction for the players, because as players, you're down there for one thing. It's a football game. Take away. I actually missed 2 New Year's because of a bowl game. But you know what? The task at hand is to take care of the football game, and that's what you're going to do. The players, that's all they're focused about. Now,
one thing they did do on Monday when they arrived is win the Rodeo Bowl. And, guys, 5 of the 6 teams that have won the Rodeo Bowl have gone on to win the bowl game. So we'll see if that holds true tonight. Now, Brian Sandler's been down in Houston, Texas all week long covering the team, and we'll go to him now down at the stadium. The weather down there a little bit better than Syracuse, obviously, but not perfect, is it, Brian?
Hey, Mark, we're coming to you from field level of the cavernous Reliant Stadium. It seats more than 70,000 for NFL games. Probably not going to be that big of a crowd here tonight, but it does seem to be a pretty good presence outside waiting to get in the gates. And I'll tell you what, I know it's freezing in Syracuse right now. It is not warm in Houston. Game time temperature is going to be in the mid-50s, and somewhat surprisingly, given that, they are going to leave the roof open, and there is a bit of a breeze down here despite the walls surrounding us, so we'll see if the conditions have any impact. It should be dry, though, so that's the most important thing. Now, all week long, the Orange have been very busy with pre-bowl activities. Maybe the most special one, probably the most special one, coming yesterday when they visited the DePelchin Children's Center. It's been open in Houston since 1892, and the kids just so excited to see the players, the cheerleaders. Otto was there, really kind of a party atmosphere, and some of the players even got the kids' autographs, which just lit up their faces. Very, very cool to see. Now we have finally arrived at game day. The Orange warming up on the field just a short while ago, along with Minnesota. All week long, each side has said the tougher team is going to win this matchup, and certainly when you look at the statistics on both sides, it would seem that that will be the case, so we shall see just who the tougher team will be. And both love to run the ball, so expect probably a quick-paced game, at least we hope. So we'll see just who comes out on top. We'll be back with more from Houston in just a bit. Right now, let's go back to you guys. All
right, thank you very much, Brian. We'll get back to you later in the show. And, a couple of running teams, 2 of the top 40 rushing offenses in the country, so a lot of rushing. And, the team's ready. Obviously, they've had a lot of time to get ready for this one.
Well, there's 3 things you really have to take care of when you're at a bowl game, especially when you got that time. There's the 3 ups. 1, you got to heal up. Anybody who's banged up, they got a chance to rest, get themselves back in shape for the game. 2, you got to polish up. Polish up the offense, polish up the defense, take what worked and didn't work. You got to polish those up. And lastly, psyched up. And you really shouldn't have to do that with this team. These kids are led by a bunch of seniors, and I don't think they're going to have to do that. But those 3 things are very, very easily taken care of on this 3-week break.
All right, as every game, we have 3 Syracuse storylines for you as well. The first one is trophy time, and as he mentioned, it is the seniors' last try at it. They're perfect in postseason appearances so far with 2 Pinstripe Bowl trophies, looking to add another one tonight.
I remember when each and every one of these kids walked on campus, and now to see them finish in their career in arguably one of the best states with regards to football history excites me. I remember Marquise walking in with stripes down the side of his pants from the military school we recruited him from. Mackey had to walk 1.5 miles to get to the university. His dad was the great Coach McPherson, and to see him finish his career, the grandson of a legend, who I have a picture of on my wall, that gives me shivers down my spine. And then my guy from Jamaica, Queens, New York, over there, nobody knew about him. All he did was come in and be an outstanding defensive player and a captain for us. And then Jerome's a self-made man from Delaware. And couldn't be prouder of these 4 guys, and a chance as Coach Kill feels the same way, just to represent our kids now, go out in style, playing in a great bowl game is just exciting as all get out.
Just want to go out with a win. Just want to go out with a win with my brothers in the bowl game. I actually do want to, because I've heard Syracuse history. I'm second on the TFL. That's behind Dwight Freeney. He has like 50. He got like 40-something. So if I could beat his record in this game, it'd be great. I'll be good. I'll be golden.
It's important not only for the senior class to walk off with a win, but the guys returning to come back 7-6 rather than 6-7 is always a great job.
You just have to go out there and with the mindset of trying to dominate the opponent and just do everything you can to, take their will away or just take away what they do best, and that's running the ball. If we can do that, we can be successful.
I've gone all over the place emotionally and physically, and to come in at 245 pounds as a senior and to leave, not 245 pounds now, and to have, second team all ACC stuff, and it's been truly a blessing that I couldn't even ask for and dream of. So it's been one of the greatest things I've ever done in my life, and I've really appreciated it.
I personally understand how each and every one of those young men feel. The emotion, the desire, the pride, the work you put in to build up to this moment. It's your senior year, your last game playing together. You'll never play together as a team again. So they're going to go out there and approach this game the same way they approached every other game, but with heart and soul in this game. It's their last game playing together. Some of them will go on to the NFL, some won't, but it's your last game possibly as a football player, and these guys know it, and they're going to go out there with emotion running high.
It'd be nice if they can approach it like you approached your last game, Robert, the 1989 Hall of Fame Bowl MVP. So that would be something to shoot for. Second storyline, Howdy Hunt. Terrell Hunt coming off a career performance against Boston College guys. His best game of the year in his 9th start, 29 of 43, 270 yards, a couple of touchdowns through the air. He rushed for 90 yards and a touchdown, of course, led him down the field in the final 2 minutes to beat Boston College. Terrell Hunt, always very appreciative of the help he gets from his teammates. He credits the defense for helping him develop.
My roommate's a defensive player, so they brag to me about all the time. We haven't had a rusher that was over 100 yards, and nobody's done that, throughout the whole nation. So to hear that, that's like, wow. You don't really pay attention, but I love those guys. They give me the ball every time. And after that Boston College game, after the pick, they told me, hey, we're gonna get you the ball. We stopping them right now. We're gonna get you the ball. So hearing that and believing them, there's no doubt in my mind that whatever they say is gonna happen. So hearing that just brings me up, and I'm like, all right, this isn't over. We can keep it going. So having them giving me the ball every time and giving me another chance means a lot. You see a ton of people walking through the building. They're proud of you. They're happy, and it just feels good to have those people, tell you that they're proud. Everybody counted us out, but they were there through thick and thin. Floyd Little. A lot of people, Jason Poles, Donovan McNabb. It feels amazing.
You can break down Terrell Hunt any way you want to physically, whether he can pass, he runs. What his most important attribute, however, is his leadership. We saw him when he went in and got the starting nod, how the team responded to him. The kid, I don't care what you say about his passing or his running, he's a leader. And if they're going to win tonight, that leadership is just as important as the other 2 qualities that he has.
Terrell Hunt 5-4 as a starting quarterback in his redshirt sophomore season. Third storyline is getting healthy again. The layoff, as Dale mentioned before, helping players heal up, and 3 very significant players returning on the offensive side of the ball. Jared West, Prince Tyson Gully, and Sean Hickey, who hasn't missed any games but left the last 2 games hobbling with a leg injury. So those 3 guys are back, Dale, but one guy that's not back could affect them on both sides of the football.
Well, Darrell Eskridge, he's one of my favorite players. He's that safety back there. He does such a good job back there, makes a lot of tackles, does pass breakups. He also goes over and has played offense. He's probably the fastest, biggest receiver they have. He is not going to play tonight. So they're going to lose a lot of leadership in the secondary and an offensive threat also. So he's a really big loss tonight for Syracuse University.
Hopefully the guys coming back can offset the loss of Darrell Eskridge. All right, when we continue here on the Orange and Texas Bowl pregame show, we'll talk more about the Minnesota Golden Gophers. And there's what they're playing for tonight, the 2013 Texas Bowl Trophy. Gophers and Orange, less than a half hour away.
The Orange and Texas, your local Toyota dealers. Check out Toyota's amazing full line of vehicles today. Toyota, let's go places. Upstate University Hospital, knowing changes everything. And by Summit Automotive, we've got your truck at summitcars.com.
Reliant Stadium in Houston, Texas. The Orange on the field warming up for tonight's battle with the Minnesota Golden Gophers in the 8th annual Texas Bowl. Welcome back to the pregame show, everyone. Mark Larson, Dale Drypulcher, Robert Drummond here, getting set for a kickoff. And you talk about Minnesota and Syracuse, the two teams that have met quite a few times in the last 5 seasons. This is their 3rd meeting already, so very familiar with each other. Jerry Kill and Scott Schaefer talked about the matchup earlier this week, guys, and listen to how similar both coaches feel about this matchup.
Game plan's in, ready to go. Now it's just repetition.
Winning comes down to the execution of what you do, and you get the repetition of what you do. Sometimes if you don't have the reps, you don't execute very well, and it really comes down to what you do over and over.
We usually try to work on the tendencies that the teams have and practice the things they run the best. And then sometimes you kind of say, well, those trick plays we're not going to mess with. Days like this, late, in preparation, you get a chance to say, hey, look, they have done this. Maybe give them a few unbalanced looks that Minnesota's run a few times earlier in the year, and you have a little bit more time. The biggest thing is want to stay focused in on the things that has gotten us to this bowl game, both on offense, defense.
I think offensively, when you have a little bit extra time, you do some things different. They'll do some things different. Defensively, they'll do some things different. I think that's part of the extra preparation. But he's got the same philosophy. It comes down to execution on both sides of the ball.
Take what they give, be efficient on 3rd down, protect the football. That'll be the key to the game.
I think the biggest thing in this game is don't turn the ball over, because usually the team with the least mistakes is going to win.
So, not surprising to hear those guys talk so similarly about, turnovers. They're very close in turnover margin in the rankings. They're very close in total defense. Very similar programs, it seems.
Well, I think so. Both teams say they want to run the ball. But if I were Syracuse, I would put in that Boston College game plan. I don't know if I'd throw the ball 43 times, but I think they have to keep them off balance. I don't think they want to just run the football. And I'll tell you what else they want to do. If they want to take a page out of Minnesota's book, don't have so many penalties.
Yeah.
Minnesota not very penalized. Syracuse much penalized. That could be a difference in the game. They got to clean that up.
Yeah, in the rankings, Minnesota is 13th, Syracuse 112th in penalties per game. Yeah, 7.5 versus about 4. So hopefully Syracuse can cut down on that. Now the Golden Gophers, as we've been talking about, like to run the football. They do have a quarterback who can do a little bit of both, Philip Nelson. Who's had a pretty decent season this year for the Golden Gophers. Had a great game against Indiana November 2nd. Had 298 yards passing. That's his career high. Had 4 touchdown passes as the Gophers won that game in a shootout. So he does have the ability to get to the air. Now, but, their strength is their running game, and David Cobb is one of the best in the business, at least in the Big Ten. Cobb 1,100-plus yards in the Big Ten. And what do you think about him as a running back, Robert?
David Cobb is a bowling ball. 5'11", 235 pounds, runs downhill, is a very strong runner. But you know what? Syracuse is the only FBS team that hasn't allowed a 100-yard rusher in a game this year. So, they've got 2 forces right now, and they're going to collide. And I think Syracuse will come up on top.
And Cobb, has a little bit of a home field advantage. He's from a little town called Killeen, Texas, which is up near Austin, just a couple hours away from Houston. So, he'll have plenty of friends and family down there. All right, as for Syracuse, it's the defense that has the Gophers concerned. Syracuse 26th against the run, and as Robert mentioned, the only team in the FBS not to allow a 100-yard rusher. Here's what the Gophers had to say.
Syracuse is a great defense. They do a lot of different things, and they do a lot of different looks, and they do a lot of the same things that our defense does, so we can really get some live scrimmaging against our own defense and get some good looks in there. So I think we're doing a good job of preparing for that. We do a great job of really trying to hold on to the ball, and that's really the key to our offensive game plan, is being able to hold on to the ball, run the rock, and then take our shots when they're there. So I think we're getting ready for that.
We're both pride ourselves on great defense, not turning the ball over, playing physical, run the football. So if I'm a fan, I'm coming out to watch, because it will be a physical battle. I don't think there's any question about that.
Interesting stat here, guys. Minnesota only averages 7 more rushing yards per game on the ground, but time of possession, they are 10th in the nation, 33 minutes plus per game. So as their quarterback said, they want to hold on to the ball and keep it away from that Syracuse offense. When we come back, we'll head back to Houston, Texas, and check in again with Brian Sandler. He's going to talk a little bit about Orange Nation down there in the Lone Star State. That's next here in the Orange and Texas Bowl pregame show.
The Orange Orange in Texas is sponsored by Hyundai. Make the holidays shine even brighter now during Hyundai Holiday. And by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% on car insurance. Visit geico.com or call 1-800-947-AUTO.
Welcome back to the Orange and Texas Bowl pregame show. Of course, the last two bowl seasons for Syracuse football fans have been a lot easier. Just head down to New York City and check out the Pinstripe Bowl. This year, a little bit farther to go all the way down to Houston, Texas. But Brian Sandler, who's down in Houston and has been all week, says there is a little Orange Nation presence down there in the Lone Star State. Brian, what'd you find?
Well, Mark, with Bowl Week coming right around Christmas, it wasn't expected to be a lot of fans here earlier in the week, and we really didn't see any from either side. But they have started to pile in now, and last night we caught up with a bunch of them at an official SU Alumni Club party.
As a Houston native, I'm so excited to have Syracuse in town for the first time. It may be a once-in-a-lifetime thing having Syracuse football play right here in Houston.
Well, we think it's wonderful because we've been following them around the country on various times. So that, to be able to get it where you can just drive down from your home, it's pretty nice. So we wouldn't miss this for nothing.
We're from Syracuse. We're Syracuse fans. We live way up north in Henderson, New York, the home of the latest ice storm, as you know. When we left there, we had no power. The trees were falling down. The roads were blocked.
We were in a state of emergency.
But we had a game to get to.
What can you say?
We were excited when we saw it on TV. We knew right away we would be coming to the game. Nice to see all the people, all the family coming in and everything.
All right, I don't really speak Otto, but he seemed pretty excited.
He was
guys.
excited.
I would think Alec Lemon, who has played for the Houston Texans, would be among those down in attendance tonight. But the guys, bowl game, obviously atmospheres are different. Last two times the Orange were in a postseason bowl game, they had home crowd advantage, but may not be the case tonight.
Well, they got some folks down there that'll cheer them on, and it'll be nice. Maybe some folks from Houston just go to watch the game. Should be a good game, as Coach Kill said. So I think they might be interested in just watching a good old-fashioned football game.
Yeah, Robert, any fan support necessary in a bowl game?
You know what? As a player, you go out there and you play each game as hard as you can to possibly win that game. But as a fan, the great thing for us at the end of the year, being able to go to a bowl game, is to get the fans to come out there and cheer us on. And that's the one big thing about having fans at the game. We love them, they love us.
Well, hopefully they're having a lot of fun down in Houston, Texas, and they've had all day to get ready for this one. All right, 6 o'clock kickoff, so we are counting down less than 15 minutes away, the Gophers and the Orange, and we'll continue here on the pregame show right after this.
The Orange in Texas is sponsored by Honda. Start something special with a great deal on a Honda, now at your Honda dealer. Skinny Atlas Jewelry, located in Skinny Atlas and Fayetteville. And by the Bill Rapp Superstore. Make the smart choice. Shop the Bill Rapp Superstore.
Syracuse football team will become the third of 11 ACC bowl-bound teams to kick off here as we get set for the Texas Bowl tonight between the Orange and the Golden Gophers. Let's remind you first, before we go any further, about where you should be after the game is over. You should come right back here, because where else are you going to get post-game coverage like we'll bring it to you here in the Orange and Texas post-game show? Around 9:30 or so, right after the game, just turn it back here and we'll have the analysis. We'll have some highlights for you. We'll have Coach Scott Schaefer's press conference, a reaction from the players as well. That's all coming up with Dale and Robert and I right here about 9:30 tonight. All right, and now let's check in one more time with Brian Sandler, who's been down in Houston, Texas all week long. Get some final thoughts on tonight's matchup. Brian.
Well, Mark, when Syracuse was slated for the Texas Bowl, we kind of wondered how the week would go since Christmas is right in the middle of it. You know, a lot of local attractions are closed Christmas Eve, Christmas Day. But the guys made the most of their time here. They really did enjoy it, although for all the talk about experiencing some Texas culture, head coach Scott Schaefer says some of the guys have been seen just going to McDonald's for dinner and not, trying out some local Tex-Mex or something like that. But it's been a very good time. They have enjoyed themselves here. Terrell Hunt especially enjoyed himself. When we were asking the guys kind of what they'd done on their downtime, he said that he went out and got a massage. Of course, he's been pretty beat up. This is his first season of actually being a starter, so he said it was much needed, loosened him up. Some of the guys apparently went with him, and he's feeling great, so we'll see how that translates to his performance on the field tonight. So again, toughness, toughness, toughness. We've heard that all week. It's going to be a great game, we think. Certainly evenly matched. SU and Minnesota love to run the ball. Expect a quick pacing to the game, and we'll see who comes out on top in just a few hours. Guys?
All right, very good, Brian. Thanks very much, guys. Final thoughts, Dale?
It's there for the taking. They're matched up against a pretty good team, but they've got a pretty good team themselves. If they do what they did against Boston College, they can win this football game.
The future of Syracuse University football begins today.
All right. Well, try for another bowl win. Why not? These guys have done it before. These seniors have been perfect in their first 2 bowl appearances as they try to make it 3 in a row tonight. And the Orange is a program going for its 5th bowl win in the last 6 tries. If you make it to a bowl game, you might as well go ahead and win it. Can they beat Minnesota? Gophers have won the last 3 in the series, and we'll see what happens tonight. 6 o'clock kick again, and then come right back here for the post-game show at 9:30 or so after the game, and we'll be here to bring you all of the recap. For now, for Dale Drypolch, Robert Drummond, and the entire crew, Mark Larson saying thanks for watching the Orange and Texas Bowl pregame show. Enjoy the game, everybody. We'll see you right back here afterwards.